Today we're going to compare the Cybex Coya and the Nuna TRVL, two higher-priced ultra-compacts from premium manufacturers oriented towards travel and urban or car-based lifestyles. So let's jump straight into it then, looking at the advantages and disadvantages of each model in turn, and focusing on their differences in terms of child comfort, ease of use, longevity, and driving characteristics, before ending with a discussion of under what conditions and uses one might make a better purchase over the other. And starting off with the Coya, the model clocks in at 6.6 kilos and folds down to a cabin luggage acceptable 18 by 44 by 52 centimeters. It can carry 22 kilos in the seat and 5 kilos in the underslung shopping basket. When it comes to child comfort, the Coya seat has an inside width of 33 centimeters, a total length for the sitting surface of 80, meaning the combined lengths of the backboard, baseboard, and leg rest, and a longer maximum length of 115 centimeters when adding in space beneath the canopy and the distance to the front frame mounted footrest. The Coya has a good, more or less full flat reclined position, but the upright angle is unfortunately a bit too sloped in my opinion. As far as other aspects of the seat go, the canopy is extendable and provides decent sun coverage, though there's unfortunately no flap to cover the mesh panel in the extended section. The textiles have a thicker than average premium feel, and the model comes with a removable seat liner, which has, beneath it, a large mesh window in the seat back to provide ventilation in warmer climates. When it comes to parent comfort, the Coya's handle has a fixed height of 104.5 centimeters, while the shopping basket is average sized, but fiddly to access due to the model's narrow rear frame, the slope of the handle arms and seat, and the sidewalls. As far as folding is concerned, the Coya's somewhat heavier and sturdier than average components, thick textiles, and the extra step of a locking clip make the process a bit cumbersome, though the way the shoulder strap is threaded through the undercarriage does help a bit for yanking the whole assembly closed, and of course, makes the model more handy to carry around. As far as the feel of using the Coya goes, the model feels sufficiently sturdy and substantial with both its bars and connection points, but it's loose in its locking joints, in particular the central hubs right under the seat, which bend a bit side to side when steering. And the rear frame is quite narrow as well, which creates a feeling of instability, and, combined with the slope of the handle arms and the model's deep recline, also makes it a tad sketchy with regards to potentially tipping when the seat is fully reclined with a heavier child. As far as terrain capability goes, the Coya's wheels are of an acceptable size for an ultra-compact, but the lack of rear suspension and the looseness of its central joints, as well as a somewhat unstable feeling that comes from the narrowness of the rear frame, all make the model a bit jittery and rickety feeling when the road gets even a little rough, such as over uneven sidewalks or gravel. Okay, moving on, the TRVL weighs the same 6.5 kilos, but folds down to a larger 61 by 51.5 by 28 centimeters, which is too big to fit within the IATA's guidelines for cabin luggage, unfortunately. It can carry the same 22 kilos in the seat, but only 4.5 kilos in the underslung shopping basket. In terms of child comfort, the TRVL seat has a similar range of positions to the Coya, both in terms of its near full flat recline and also its not quite upright enough upright position, while size-wise, it also has virtually identical dimensions in terms of its width, length of the sitting surface, and also longer length when thinking about space beneath the canopy and the distance to the front frame mounted footrest, with the only real difference between the two here being that the Coya has a longer backboard while the TRVL has a longer leg rest. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, the TRVL's canopy is a bit shorter and sits higher up, making for somewhat poorer sun coverage. The textiles on the TRVL are also decent in terms of quality, though a bit less padded than the Coya's, and though the model also has a seat liner, ventilation is provided only via the canopy's mesh window. In terms of parent comfort, the TRVL's handle is a little lower than the Coya's, at 103 centimeters, while its shopping basket extends off the rear frame more and is easier to access. When it comes to folding, the TRVL is definitely quicker and more comfortable to fold, due to its fancy auto-folding system, and when folded, can be carried both by the bumper bar or the model's own shoulder strap, though I'd note here that the strap is a bit shorter than the Coya's, and not quite as comfortable to use in my opinion. As far as how the TRVL feels to use, the chassis is less loose right out of the box, but is also significantly weaker than the Coya's in terms of the strength of its bars, having less reinforced hinges and locking mechanisms, and not quite enough cross support, and as a result, bends and strains during tipping and steering, making it much more likely to become looser in the long run than the Coya, as well as having a higher chance of developing asymmetrical internal problems that could complicate the fold. As far as driving and terrain capability go, the TRVL has both better suspension and bigger wheels than the Coya, and thus has more shock absorption and the ability to better negotiate uneven ground like broken sidewalks, some cobblestones, or lighter off-road conditions, though it's important to note that regular use in such environments will definitely accelerate wear and loosening. So which one of these should you get then? In all honesty, I'm not a huge fan of either of these models, but if you're for some reason choosing exclusively between these two, then the Coya is both a sturdier stroller, more likely to hold up in the long run, and also arguably better for air travel and holiday use, with its more compact fold and better shoulder strap, while the TRVL excels over the Coya in my opinion for use with a car-based lifestyle, being a lot quicker to get in and out of the trunk, and having that little edge when it comes to terrain versatility for handling different sorts of outings. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as a sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.